And welcome back to Open Your Eyes, and we are now moving into our second segment for the morning, and Department of Youth Services, yes, the National Youth Awards and application process, that's what we've got going on here, and I see some robotics. I see some good people in. Now in with us we've got Aida Escobar, Communications Officer at the Department of Youth Services. We also have Sergio Pech. Is Sergio here?
Yes.
Sergio is here. Yes, he's a team member, Belize Robotics Club, and I could see that. I see as well Ken Haylock, who is a team member as well, and Jasmine Armstrong, Youth in Sports, for this entire thing here. Yes. So guys, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for
having me. And
having
it's so nice to have you in.
Yes, we're excited to be here this morning with so many talented young people.
All right.
Well, this gives us such a great opportunity because the National Youth Awards are held every year, but we don't always get to meet the winners.
Yes.
So you're preparing for the announcement of the new winners and the nomination process, but
Right.
these are the 2018 winners in Innovation and Technology.
Yes.
And Youth in Sports. Congratulations.
Congratulations to all of you, man. So let's jump on into it. Now, tell us about this entire thing.
Well, yes, our Belize Youth Awards, as you said, happens annually. We're very excited about it.
Yes.
And the deadline for our young people to apply is coming up. It's the 11th of October.
All right.
So this is kind of a last call to all our young people who maybe like to wait last minute to apply.
Yeah.
You know, to come out, and we brought some amazing winners with us to kind of motivate people as well. And
Yeah.
the awards are happening on the 15th of November. We have 16 categories to choose from.
Wow.
So these are only 2 of them. We have 2 new categories, one of them being Social Media Influencer Award.
Wow.
So if anybody is out there and uses their social media for any positive influences, whether that be through the environment or that be through, you know, just positive measures here in Belize,
Yeah.
that is something. We also have a Unionism Award happening because
Oh.
I'd like to mention that our young people are from ages 15 to ages 29. So
Nice.
there's a lot of, you know, in those 20s, people that are already doing things for their unions, whether that be locally or just overall in Belize. So we'd like to, you know.
There's also the National Student Union as well that was formed earlier this year.
Yes, yes.
Right,
But
right.
so how does it work? How is one eligible to win this award? The age
Yeah.
category is one part, but
Right.
who nominates? Can you nominate yourself?
Right, that's a great question. You cannot nominate yourself, and family cannot nominate you.
Okay.
So it would have to be a coach, or, I mean, if you're doing so many amazing things, so it won't be hard for you to
Yeah.
find
Yeah.
anybody out there who knows
Yeah.
what you're doing and will nominate you. And you can ask someone to nominate you, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Or someone can just decide, oh, I know a young person that should be nominated.
Yeah.
So first of all, we have our application form online, and the easiest way to find it is if you go on our Facebook page,
Yeah.
Department of Youth Services. It's pinned right to the top,
Okay.
the Belize Youth Awards, and there's a Google form link that you click on, and it's very easy. It immediately takes you on the 16 categories. You choose the one, and then from there, all you need to do is write their name. You give us a reference letter that needs to be from someone outside of the nominator, which again
Yeah.
shouldn't be hard if it's someone, you know, very talented.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is that the young person needs to either give us a 300-word essay or, a 500-word essay,
Whoa.
or a 3-minute video. Either one is fine. So if you don't like writing, you don't have to write. You can do the video. But some people are shy and don't really want to do the video, and they prefer writing. So we're giving that option to either person as well.
Nice.
Excellent. So this video would be what? That person just saying why they think they should win, or that person, like for instance, Jasmine being a youth in sport, doing some juggling somewhere around there. What does it entail?
It's very creative. It's up to them. So you can do that, definitely. You can also share with us past video clips of, so for example, Jasmine would share with us her saving a goal, you know, saving her team from losing by stopping a ball from entering. Or our robotics team, they can share with us videos of them with their robots that they've actually brought here today.
Yes. Because they know we like toys.
Yes. So it could be anything. If you don't necessarily want to show your face so much, it can just be, we have an entrepreneurship award. So
Okay.
someone who has a business, they can show us their business.
Yeah.
You know, and so we have a journalism award. So maybe that person, they have an option. They can send us the essay. They can send us videos of them doing journalism.
Doing your work.
Yeah, we have Young Musicians Award. So
Yeah.
really, the video can be.
How competitive are the awards?
Yeah.
Well, some categories are definitely more competitive than others. I'd want to say our biggest 2 are the sports category, which is why we've divided our youth in sports into male and female, because it gets so competitive. And our academic excellence award is also
Excellent.
very,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we have very intelligent people here in Belize.
Yeah.
So I would say those are our 2 most popular. But overall, we do get, you know, people throughout
It's a
Belize.
very wide range of categories
Yes.
that you have. I think it's from, you talk about different youth groups,
Yeah.
active youths in society,
Yeah.
sports. Tell us of some of the other ones that people don't know about as much.
Okay. Well, we have the Diversely Abled Award.
Okay.
And that just means someone who either has a physical or a mental impairment, and that hasn't stopped them from doing great things in Belize, or from helping with social issues, or just influencing young people overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so also we have, I'm trying to think about ones. Oh, visual arts. Visual arts category, and that can be painters, sculptors, however they want to do art, if they use clay or glass or anything like that. I mentioned the journalism one because a lot of people don't know that one as well. We also have the Leadership and Advocacy Award.
Yeah.
So anybody who just is being a leader in their community, in their schools, in the country. We have I'm trying to remember the ones, as you said, that might not be so commonly known.
Yeah.
We have I mentioned Young Musician. Well, we have the Environmental Steward Award. And I know that's big right now with the Sustainable Development Goals and trying to stop single-use plastic. So it can be a young person, or it can be a group.
Okay.
So for all of these categories, by the way. Yeah.
So with the groups, because you have the youth category, what does that mean? I mean, if it's a youth group from a school, it has to be a group of young people.
Right. It would have to be a youth of exactly a group of
young
young people. Yeah. So we have two categories specifically for groups as well. Actually, we have Youth Club of the Year, and then we have Student Government. So student government would be schools, would be people in schools, of course, that are not only helping their schools, but kind of going out of that and helping communities or doing other things apart from that. But Youth Club of the Year, that would be very versatile. That can be any youth group, anywhere
Even
in
a
Belize.
church group?
Yes.
Or,
Actually, last year's winners were a church group.
group?
Yeah. So it could be anything. Yeah.
So as long as they're vocal, as long as they're making that impact within the youth that they serve, the youth can actually vote for them to be a part of this one.
Yeah.
So
Once
how
they're
long
nominated.
have you been doing the Youth Awards?
Well, I would easily say over 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which means we've had so many outstanding young people
Yeah.
being recognized for their contributions.
Right.
And I want to bring it over to them to be able to talk a bit about what it meant for you. So let's talk about the Robotics Club. And when you found out that you were going to be nominated, what was the response internally?
So at first, we didn't know that we were being nominated.
Oh.
So it took us a while to understand what was happening. So we had to do some research and background as to what all this pertains.
Yeah.
So then when we got into it, we were kind of excited to see that we're going into a competition, another competition, because we just came back from First Global.
Yeah.
So that was a big competition too. So when we came back, it was a good decision that we're participating in this. So we were kind of excited to go, and when we arrived there, we saw all the amount of people that were there. So we were like even more excited.
Yeah. And tell me about your experience when they announced that you guys won, because there's a big award night, right?
Yes, ma'am. My experience, it was overwhelming for me because I was in sophomore year, and this was my first time being at such a major event, and when I saw all the competition that I had, I felt like I wasn't gonna get the award, but when I saw the award, I wanted to break down in tears.
Wow, that's what you call tears of joy.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I wanted to get at was that, and you guys actually brought your robots with you. Tell us about your robotic club. I didn't know they had one of those in our country, Robotic Club. Tell us about it. How many people in it? What can you do to be a part of it? Tell us about it.
So I've been in the Robotic Club since Standard 5, and because of that, the BHS had nominated me to go and represent the country in First Global. And after First Global, we've had the First Lego League, where we asked schools, primary schools, to come and participate. And we would challenge all the schools in a friendly competition. And when you see the joys on the kids' face to see that what they've built actually works, it warms your heart to know that you're changing their lives.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, I think that clearly in a category like innovation and technology, there's so many different areas where people are moving into innovation.
Yeah.
You know, you got people making apps, you got people who compete annually, I know, in the Raspberry Pi, the PSU thing, and we know that you guys have been very active in robotics as well. Why do you think your group stood out so much last year? Don't be scared to talk about your accomplishments.
So our school is based on IT.
Yeah.
So we go into different various competitions against sixth formers, and I guess we have an over edge and everything because we have such a in-depth curriculum with IT. So even though we're in class and learning IT, some of our students and some of my friends too, we go home and we do some even more research and we try it at home.
Yeah.
So we do programming at home even though we have homework. So we do homework, then we go to something else.
Yeah.
We have the robots here and we mess with them to like get a better understanding as to how we can like bump up our level of intelligence with them. And then as well as we do other side projects as well with the Raspberry Pi. We do these MBots to see what all we can integrate each other with.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is it still fun when it's schoolwork but
Yeah,
also a club?
Well, when it's club time, you like kind of have a laid back. But when you have homework and all of this pile of work compiled, then you try to limit how much you can do at the same time.
But it's still fun.
Yeah, it's still fun overall.
Yeah.
Alright,
It's
there
fun
you
when
go.
it's actually the robot, maybe not programming itself,
I mean,
right?
sometimes you kind of get frustrated because like you're programming something and like you find an error somewhere there, and then you have to like go back and check what you did wrong and everything. And then when you like finally get the program to work, then you feel okay, an excitement right there.
And what is it like working with the little ones? You do your summer, it's summer, right? That you do it with the schools. What is some of them may not have been exposed to robotics at all. What do you tell them about it, and what's the typical reaction that you'd get?
So for me, when I first started robotics, I didn't have no clue, and I would tell them how I handle it. And my teacher, Mr. Sosa, he took me step by step through what I need to know about robotics. And that's what I did with the little kids at the First Lego League.
Excellent.
And did they all love it?
Yes. Every single one of them were smiling with joy.
Why the teacher is over there and he's proud. I could see it. You still get joy out of this, but why did you want to do this? I'm trying to sit here wondering, okay, well, I'll play the car, please. But these guys are actually doing it. What made you want to do this? There's so many people right now saying, man, this man answered this question, I want doing a robotics too. So what made you want to be a part of it?
At first, I didn't know robotics was a thing, but then it was until I did the summer school that I fell in love with robotics. And I want to make it my career and to further develop robotics to make it where you have mankind and robotics walking among the streets together.
Wow, that's tough. That's deep. All right, guys, thank you. We've got Jasmine here. Jasmine Armstrong is female, actually a national team.
2018.
Yes, a national team goalkeeper. She has represented her country at a top level as well. Jasmine, once again, welcome. Tell us about yourself. What was it like when you got nominated and when you got that win?
Well, being nominated was a milestone for me. I think personally that my goal is to not only create the moment for myself, but create the moments for young girls that follow behind me.
Yes.
And so for me, all of this is just a pathway that I'm making for them, especially in sports. We know that at a certain level, we're underdeveloped than most countries when it comes to female in sports. So whatever I'm doing now, I think of it as not for me, but something that I can see young females benefiting from later on down the road. So it was quite a moment receiving the award, and it made me appreciate everything that I've been doing and understand that there's somebody out there seeing the work that I'm actually doing.
Excellent.
So tell me about when you found out you were nominated, before you won the award.
I had just come out of, I was in camp actually, preparing for the season. And I had just come out of camp, and my aunt called me and she told me that I had been nominated for the award. And I didn't make it a big deal. I was like, okay, thank you. And then I think it was a couple weeks after that I began to see the ads on TV. I started to realize how big of a deal this actually was.
And as you heard Aida say, it's a very competitive category. Yeah.
So out of all those people that were nominated, you actually got the win. So when you got your award, what was that feeling like? Tell us about that feeling.
I think it was a feeling of accomplishment more than anything. I think it was a feeling of, more of a drive than anything for me to keep going. Like, know that somebody's seeing, somebody's gonna benefit from this. I gotta keep going against all odds.
Yeah. Tell me, you're very accomplished, and you're able to gain this award now, but women in sports in general tend to be very under-recognized.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've been working so hard that sometimes it almost feels like you'll never have that breakthrough moment, right?
Yeah.
What keeps you focused, and who helps to keep you focused?
Yeah.
I think out of, well, my family, of course, they
Yeah.
help me a lot to keep me focused, but in the sporting arena, I would say my club.
Yeah.
My club, they keep me focused. They keep me focused in school and what I'm doing, and they keep me energized.
Yeah.
Like they always boost me up, and they're like, Jazz, we see what you're doing. We see the work that you're putting in. Just keep going. Someday it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We recently came back from a tournament in Nicaragua about 2 weeks ago, and it was a very successful tournament in terms of female football, and it was kind of a breakthrough tournament for me as a goalkeeper. And we sat and we talked about it, and they were like, these are the moments. These are the moments that are gonna make you. These are the moments that are gonna separate you from the others. So it's just the simple little events and things that keep happening give me that drive to keep going on.
And what did this award do in pushing you, or did it push you even further into what you want to accomplish?
It definitely pushed me further. I mean, just thinking about my week and my day's work, whether it's with school or going at the gym or going to workout, sometimes I feel that I don't even have time for myself. But it's just that drive and knowing that it's gonna be all worth it. It keeps the spirit alive.
Kent said that his goal is to continue in robotics, and said that he hopes for one day man and robot could actually be walking the streets together. What's your goal? Where do you see yourself after this?
I see myself somewhere in sports council. I see myself somewhere out there working with females, whether it's keeping them in school or building a club or doing something in that area that allows, female in sports to feel that they're one of everybody else that's out there. A lot of our Central American countries, they're well ahead of us, well advanced, and there's a lot of talent in the country.
Of course.
And I see our flag holding up a trophy someday, and I want to be a part of that.
Nice.
So,
And we look forward to it.
I look forward to it.
Yeah.
I tell you make a go play now.
So Aida, I mean, these are but they're the 2018 winners.
Yeah.
So they
Two of the 16.
Two
Yeah.
of the 16, wow.
So
Yeah.
I think these stories alone kind of show the need for the awards, because otherwise we may not have been exposed to some of the great work that young people are doing.
And there are many young people that are doing work and maybe don't need the recognition or are not asking for it, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't give it to them. Especially here in Belize, where we hear young people, sometimes it might not come with a positive story behind it. Maybe they're on the news for other reasons.
Yeah.
So we'd love to highlight all of the ones that really are doing great things.
And I think it's, there's nothing wrong with the humility that some people have in not wanting to advertise everything that they do.
Of course.
But I love what you said. It doesn't mean that they're not deserving of the recognition.
Right, of
And
an
sometimes
award.
it means even more so they are.
Yes, exactly.
It opens doors, and I think that's one more question I wanted to get back at you, Jasmine. There are girls who watch this right now. I remember we met a young lady from SC who's a great ball player, basketball player.
Yes.
There's so many young girls who are out there. I look at Kaya Katusa all the time, kind of like the soul voice talking about women in sports, women in cycling.
She was our 2017 winner for female in sports,
And just went to the lineup the other day as one of 2 women competing in a race. And so there are young girls out there watching thinking, man, I just got to give this up. Like, this is not going to go anywhere for me.
Yeah.
And then they hear you and your story and your goals. What would you say to them?
I would say to them that being a teenager is hard.
Yeah.
You make choices that you think they're good for you, or you make choices based on what's going on around you, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But when it comes to female in sports, it's a personal growth type of thing, a personal drive. At some point, you're gonna have to realize that it's It's you against the world. And it starts with one person. Maybe there might not be a lot of females that think like me, but I'm gonna be the 1 out of 10, and then eventually they're gonna be 2 out of 10, and then 3 out of 10, and that's how we make a bunch. So when it comes to females like that, I just want to tell them that it's all about keep going. It's all about that personal drive. If nobody believes in you, believe in yourself. Make them believe. I always say that, you know, everything is crazy until somebody does it.
That's right. That is absolutely right. And moving over to our Robotics Club, you know, I think what we can definitely appreciate is that you are working towards introducing, I mean, you're learning the skills for yourself, but you're also passing it on to other young people. And where some of the more developed countries already have this in their curriculum, you guys are doing it as a club. What would you say to other schools and other students about venturing into new areas beyond the traditional activities?
For me, I think as a country, Belize is growing, and I see IT can really improve the country and have more kids. Like on the news, we hear negativity a lot. So I'm hoping that with robotics, we could bring more positivity into the country and just show that Belize is on the map.
But
nice.
guys, and how can we benefit from robotics? You got this, Sergio. How can we benefit from robotics? You guys are doing it, and from the mere fact we're doing it, there must be some reason or some way that our country could benefit from what you guys are doing there. How can we benefit from robotics?
So the main reason for robotics is to take off from humans and to like venture off into compliance with everything. So when doing robotics doesn't mean that you have to be good at programming or whatever. So being in robotics, you can have creativity. You have the programming aspect. You have the designing aspect. So it doesn't matter if you're high in programming or low. It's the amount of people that come in together and share the same knowledge and critical thinking as to how to solve a certain problem. So if you do robotics, it doesn't mean that you have to be intelligent. You could be as low or in middle, but everyone comes along and share their thoughts as to how to venture off in this.
Yeah, I love that you said that because it is a teamwork approach too. I mean, your best programmer also needs somebody to generate ideas as well. And so that's what I want to find out. What cool things are you making your robots do now? You didn't bring toys for no reason.
You didn't bring that and not going to let us see what happens.
So it doesn't just go forward and backwards, right?
So since we were coming on Channel 5, I said to myself, why don't I make the robot do a 5?
Well, let's see.
All right, that's a good cue to the cameraman. It's going to be from above, I guess, yeah?
All right, so he's
a 5.
Yeah, you program it.
All right. There's the swing. That's cool.
Wow. Ken, thank you, man.
How difficult is it to program it to do that?
Programming takes some time.
Yeah.
I'm not big of a programmer. I'm more of an engineer. I like to build. But when you figure it out, it makes you feel happy to know that you did it.
And you did that 5, man.
What have you been challenging yourself with recently? Because having the skill is one thing, but you also have the capacity to be able to create new ideas and show them off to the other students as to what the possibilities are with robotics. So what have you, does Mr. Sosa come in and say, okay, imagine you need to figure out a way to do this.
Yeah, so sometimes Mr. Sosa calls me to because currently I'm working on a website for the school. So that's kind of like a side project for me to add to my portfolio. But alongside the robots or whatever.
That's how he says that,
So when doing robotics, we kind of tend to go on YouTube sometimes to see what we can do. And then we try to replicate there using home materials as well and just having a board, Arduino board. Simple as these, and then we kind of tweak them out to work as to how we want to do something at home.
Yeah.
But that's a great platform from
Is
YouTube.
that your robot?
No, this is the school's robot.
Okay.
Yeah,
What
this
does
is
that
the
one do?
this is the club's
Clear.
one. So this is Kent. Kent built this one.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
we got this kit when I was in the senior year.
Okay.
Okay.
So then Kent got this one. He built it. So this is Kent's little child.
And that's
What do
the school robot.
What do we
Yeah,
call
this is
him?
cool robot.
I didn't really have a name for him.
You don't name your robot?
Call him the
So
picture.
so our first when we went to First Global, we actually named those robots.
Yeah,
at
I
first
remember.
At First Global, we
Absolutely.
named those robots.
Yeah.
So this robot was an introduction as to the programming aspect. So this was a drag and drop kind of code.
Yeah.
So you have all the codes and you just kind of drag it and drop it, and then like it actually does the work for you right there.
Yeah.
So with the other robot, it was a little bit more challenging because you had to understand the background of it,
Yeah.
and like that took a little bit more time to understand.
All right. All right.
Okay.
All right, so that's the school robot.
Yeah.
So if you come late, you go on pinch. That's a good picture there.
Yeah.
I don't know how the parents would feel about that.
We're only kidding. We're only messing.
So
We're only
Aida,
messing.
these are, thank you very
Thank you
much.
so
And
very
I
much,
can
guys.
clearly hear from everything you've said why you were most deserving as the 2018 winners
Yes.
of the Youth Awards.
Yes.
And now we're looking for the 2019
Yes,
awardees.
and I would love to ask anyone watching to please nominate, because we as Department of Youth Services, we don't nominate,
Yeah.
and we're not the judges that choose either.
Yeah.
So we just plan the awards, and we see so many talented people. We see them on social media, we see them on TV, we see them in our communities, but if the public doesn't help us nominate them, then they can't win.
Yeah.
So please,
nominate.
yes,
And again,
please.
how can they nominate? You have to be ages from here to there.
The young people that are being nominated are between the ages of 15 and 29, but anybody can nominate those young people.
Except family. If you're
Oh,
family,
yes,
you can't
yes,
nominate
yes,
them.
thank
And
you.
you can't
Except
nominate
You
yourself.
can't nominate
right, and you
yourself.
can't nominate yourself, right? So apart from that, you need to be a Belizean or a CARICOM citizen living in Belize for 10 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, because we understand a lot of people come from a very young age and they become Belizean. And you will need a reference letter from another person, just one reference letter. And again, as I said, either a 500-word essay or a 3-minute video showing us your talent, and that's it.
Nice. All right, and the application details available on the Department of Youth Services Facebook page.
Yep.
So you can definitely go there and check that out. Thank you all for coming
Thank you.
in.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you for
us.
sharing your stories and your latest developments and tricks. And Aida, we hope you get some great nominations
Thank
for this
you.
year's
Thank
award
you.
program. We are going to go ahead and take a break now, though, and when we come back, we'll be talking about Pathlight International's gala. So please stay tuned.